We are back with, what are we doing today? We are doing a chest and tricep. And we are back with some upgrades. That's right. We're in a new car, and honestly, it's not the craziest car, right? But it is efficient, and it gets me to point B, and that's all I really needed at the time. So I'm kind of in the process of selling my old car and just paying off this car slowly. I don't really recommend people getting into expensive cars, especially early on in life. It's not really what you need. People don't really care about your car, honestly. I know some people do, but I personally, I'm not a car guy. And as long as I like my car and it gets me to point B in a safe manner, that's all I really care about. And if the sound system is good, which I'm probably going to change, the sound system in this car is pretty good, but probably for my next car, it's honestly not that big a deal for me. This car, it's been fun. I'm going to try to take care of it as best as possible so that the next owner can enjoy this car just as much as I did, honestly. I want to give it to them. It's the first time it's been driven. So I don't know what my next car is going to be, but my next big purchase is probably going to be a house. And man, it's difficult with the housing market, and I'm not a rich millionaire, so I just can't buy a house as soon as I see one. I'm young, so I'm trying to learn as much as I can, and I don't want to just get a house. Even if I had the money to get a house right now, I genuinely think I wouldn't get a house, because really, you got to learn the components of what makes a house. I don't want to just pay someone to fix my problems. I also like the fact that I know my own house. I don't know if I don't think my final house is gonna be a traditional home like the ones you see nowadays. I definitely want to help build my house because it's going to be different. The materials are going to be different. It's just not going to be a traditional house. It's not going to be something that you see on a regular basis. And it's not going to be mansion type house, but hopefully I'm going to try to get it into an affordable range, something that your everyday American can buy. And not only for them, or not only for other people, but just for myself. I'm not a really flashy guy, honestly, and I've always been like this. As long as I like what I have, I don't really care what anyone else has to say. So I'm not really looking for a mansion or a fancy house, just something that I could live in something I could be proud of, that I could call mine. And this car is one of those things. It's nothing crazy, but it's something that I worked for, and I'm very appreciative of what I have right now. So I'm really trying to maintain it and hopefully move on to bigger and better things. Honestly, right now, aside from just adulting, I kind of want to venture out and start a business. But I'm kind of lost as to where to start, really, and make my footing. There's so many things to do out there. Things that require, not only things that require a degree, but things that don't require a degree. If you think about it, we come from a long lineage of no degrees. No one went up to someone and was like, here's my degree. It's more so, here's my credentials. And that's how I'm trying to look at it now. Because life really does not change. It's really the way we live it. So it's hard, because in business, you don't really need a degree. You just really need to know the ins and outs of what makes a business run successfully. And there's many avenues of where you can do that. And I'm really trying to figure out what's my niche. What do I like that doesn't really drain my soul? And with business, there's always going to be things that you're not going to want to do, obviously. If you enjoy every single moment, I don't know. There's just some tedious tasks that you're not going to like. I don't really care about that. I'm willing to push through those barriers or those difficult times. But I'm really trying to find something that's very stable, not trendy, not something that I'm just liking for the moment. But for me right now, it's really looking like the gym, fashion, or content creation, or acting type of thing. That's sort of like the genre I'm kind of aiming at. But it's kind of hard to really fit that into like a business model. I don't know how to explain. Hopefully no one steals my idea. No one's watching this, so it doesn't really matter. But that's sort of the life update right now. I haven't really been uploading because I've kind of been learning, and I don't want to just spam content for no reason, or just spam videos for no reason. I want to try to have my videos be as informative and entertaining as possible, so you walk away with something, at least one thing. But let's knock this chest and try. Let's get this, man. All right, we are starting off with a bench press. And normally I don't like to bench press, but I like to do some form of pressing movement to really exhaust my chesticles here, because I find that you can really press a lot, and if you don't start with a pressing movement, you're gonna end up doing a lot of heavy flies, and I don't really want to do some dangerously heavy flies. So we're starting off with some incline bench press, and I felt kind of strong, I'm not gonna lie, but we're still keeping the weight low, and we're banging out these reps. All right, and we're switching to normal bench press, no incline, and I'm really focused on really feeling the movement. I'm going slow and controlled. I can go higher, like I said, but really sticking to a controlled movement. I can feel it way more on my pecs than I do on my shoulders, so yeah. All right, now we're moving on to this seated fly here. And I think this is low-key one of the best chest exercises you can possibly do, because it keeps you locked in, no pun intended. And when you do a unilateral fly, you can get a contraction and a stretch that you can't get with any other exercise, and it's super uber safe. So that's what I like about it. It's like it gives you everything that you need, and if you do it properly, it's the only exercise you really need. So I start off heavy, and then I slowly lower the weight so I can get a nice deep stretch without worrying about my shoulder exploding or something. So here we go. When I get closer to the stretch portion, I try to let my arms be as straight as possible. And when I get to the contraction portion, I also try to bend my elbows and squeeze right at the top as much as I can, and then slowly try to resist the weight as I go down. Alright, now we're moving on to triceps. If you guys seen my other videos, you know it's the same thing. And I really like this split because it works really well with the muscles that go together. And you're not gonna just be hitting one muscle group at a time, and they're kind of working all at the same time, each and every exercise, but you're hitting individual, you're trying to focus on those individual components when you're hitting those exercises. But obviously in the grand scheme of things, you're not hitting those individual groups. So we're gonna hit these tricep extensions, and we're gonna move on to overhead skull crushers that I like to do. And it's kind of like a perfect finisher for your chest. If you missed out on anything, if you left any reps from those previous chest exercises, then those skull crushers should hit the chest at the end of the workout. And I really like incorporating my chest in those skull crushers because it just feels so right on my triceps. I don't know how to explain it, and it just feels better when you're working multiple muscle groups at the same time, so you're not creating any muscle imbalances as you progress. One thing I like to do with skull crushers is when I grip the bar, I make sure to grip it really hard and tuck my elbows in. And what this allows for is to use my chest as much as possible to help assist in my triceps. And I find that doing these overhead skull crushers really hits the tricep all the way down, connected to the lat muscles. And I find that no other exercise does this. I'm sure you can do this in another way with like cables to be even more safer, but these are really, really good, and I'm loving them. So we're gonna continue to do these. Yeah. Shoulder is healing slow, but it's healing nicely, and we're gonna have to dial it back on the weights for a little bit longer, and that's okay. Yeah, that's gonna conclude the video. I did actually end up doing a couple flies and a couple dips, but I didn't record it I'm really enjoying the split, and I'm trying to pump out more videos, but it's really exhausting, and it's just sometimes hard to get in the gym. But if you guys did enjoy the video, please leave a like, and we will be back for more. And yeah, man, that's all I really had to say. And check out this pump.
Fuck. Crap, I didn't do enough. Oh man, I should have done more. I should have worked out harder. I should have worked out more often. I shouldn't have skipped so many times. I should have actually stuck to a diet. I should have, and it's so many I should have statements, and there's nothing you can do about it, right? It's simply a situation of, fuck. You know, let's not kid ourselves. You've got 10 years in your 20s, right? You've got 10 years in your 30s. You've got 10 years in your 40s, and they disappear. They're gone, right? And there's no undoing what happened during them. So, if that's the case, and you're at least reasonably concerned with, you know, how you're gonna feel personally about your life in the future, then at least in some small vector or field, I think it's an awesome idea to go crazy hard at something and really push yourself to at least what you might call the limit on, you know, any given